Hello and welcome to my review of Streets of Rage on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. Well, there's no point beating around the bush. This was one of my all-time favourite games on the Sega Mega Drive. As far as beat-em-ups went around this time, this was without doubt one of the best. It's a scrolling beat-em-up, and unlike other sorts of beat-em-ups where you're set in an arena like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, this is more in the vein of the likes of Renegade, Double Dragon, Final Fight, games of that type. And it's excellent. One of the things which was very standout with this game was the actual soundtrack. Now, unfortunately, I'm playing this on the Blaze Sega Mega Drive. It's one of the built-in games on it, and unfortunately this is perhaps the game where the sound stands out. The sound issue with it stands out more than any of the other games, because the soundtrack to the original Streets of Rage in particular was one that was just incredible at the time. I remember for the first time I heard this, just being blown away by it, thinking, is the Mega Drive really making this sound? I mean, I'd not heard anything like it prior to playing this game. And so not only was the game itself an awesome game, it's got great graphics, the playability is fantastic, you got a choice of 3 characters with their own individual fighting styles, so you can find the one which suits you the most. It's also got an absolutely kick-ass soundtrack on it. And yeah, it's just an awesome game. I really love this game. You can also have simultaneous 2-player mode as well, and there are some moves you can do where you can, attack your opponents using like a combination of moves and stuff like that. It's not terribly advanced, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're expecting some sort of, very highly advanced maneuvers to be coming on, then you're going to be disappointed. But what this game really does well is it's just perfectly paced. There's a perfect amount of game in there as well. It doesn't overstay its welcome. A problem that some games can do. I mean, some games you get towards the end of them and you're like, oh god, I wish you'd hurry up and finish. That doesn't happen with Streets of Rage. I always found it to be perfectly paced, and you always come back to playing it. There's just something very satisfying about playing the game. It's hard to put your finger on it, really. It's just because it's so well designed and because it is such a good game. It's just a crying shame, really, that this sort of Blaze Mega Drive console thing has a screwed up sound on it. What's kind of weird is it doesn't seem to happen with every game. I mean, I've got a game like the Terminator, which is a cartridge that I plug in, and the sound is absolutely fine on that. There's no sound issue with it at all. It just seems to be a select number of games, and it's kind of weird. I mean, it's the sound is slower, and it's sort of more. Yeah, it's just slower, really. I mean, I won't even say it's distorted in any way. It's not. It's just slower. It's just, as if through the emulation, it's just not doing its job properly, I guess. I don't know. But the game is fantastically playable, and where this has the advantage over, say, playing the game on the Sega Mega Drive collection on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 or the PSP or whatever, when you play it on this, you are using a proper Mega Drive controller, and it makes a huge difference, because despite the fact that you're getting perfect ports with the other versions of the game that I mentioned, the controllers just aren't designed for these type of games. I always find, I mean, probably the PlayStation 3's D-pad is probably most suited. than say the 360's D-pad, which I don't get on with. That said, I've not played with the new 360 D-pad that has the raised cross section in it, so that's supposed to address a lot of problems that people were having with beat-em-ups and retro games and what have you. So I'll put my hand on my heart and say there that I've not actually played with one of those, but certainly you can't beat the real thing. And the pad that comes with the Blaze Mega Drive plug and play device is very similar to the 6-button Mega Drive pad that come out, and it just feels better to play. I mean, I enjoy playing games on it far more, and it's got a far more authentic feel to it when you're playing the games. I mean, I suppose one could argue why not just go and buy a second-hand Mega Drive and, you know, have the real thing. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could do that, but this Blaze thing is so small, it's so tiny, it takes up virtually no space, and unfortunately space is a pretty big premium to me at the moment. And it was very cheap. It was, I mean, I think I picked it up for about £18, and that was brand new. And £18 for a games console with 10 games built in, it was just too much to turn down the opportunity. And the fact that it also plays American cartridges, and I don't know whether it plays the Japanese cartridges, I've not tried that out yet, but it certainly plays Genesis cartridges as well, means that it opens up the possibilities of being able to get hold of some harder to get games. You know, I've just ordered some now, like Predator 2 for example. I didn't even know was on the Mega Drive, so I've ordered that. I've got the Chaos Engine coming. That was a brilliant game on the Amiga. Never played the Mega Drive version of it, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I'm not saying that was only ever released in America, because I'm fairly confident it wasn't, but the point that I'm making is that if you are looking for games at a decent price, if you went and bought a Mega Drive that was a UK Mega Drive, for example, I know you can get them modified and so on and so forth, but my philosophy is the more modifications that go on with these things, the more prone they are to breaking down. I mean, if you adjust something from its original specification, you are taking a risk that something's going to go wrong with it. And I know that might not be the case. It's just my own personal opinion, my own personal psychosis, shall we say, about these type of things. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the setup that I've got, and I'm, you know, for the sake of the odd game having a slightly slower sound, I'm happy to put up with that. And as I say, I mean, I have got the game anyway on the Sega Mega Drive collection on the PlayStation 3. What was kind of weird with this one is it's missing Streets of Rage 2, which I don't understand the logic behind that. It's got 1 and 3, but not Streets of Rage 2, and that was a fantastic game as well. So yeah, I mean, I had spent many hours playing this game back when I had it on the official, shall I say, real Mega Drive, and I used to love plugging my headphones in. I had the Mega Drive 1 for a number of years, and I used to love plugging my headphones in and just playing it because, like I say, I mean, the sound and the music was that good on it. It warranted it being output in stereo. That's another thing I don't understand with this Blaze device as well. It only outputs the sound in mono, which just seems daft. I mean, the console was a stereo console. Why the hell is it only come with a mono adapter to it? So if any of you are listening to these videos and wondering why the sound of the actual game only comes out of one speaker, it's literally because it is only a mono output on the console. There isn't really a great deal I can do about that. It's a bit of a curiosity, really, and well, I mean, there's no headphone port on the console anyway, so, but I suppose they were trying to keep the costs to a minimum, and you can't really blame them for that either. I guess that most people, they think buying the console would probably not care anyway. I mean, purists will go for a proper Mega Drive. Proper retro collectors will do that. I'm kind of more interested in collecting the retro games than I am the actual devices, as I say, because space is a huge consideration for me. Otherwise I would be out there sourcing the original consoles themselves. So I don't really think there's much else to say. It's a fantastic game. I absolutely love it. I love playing it now as much as I did back in, I think it was 1992 maybe when I got it, 1993. No, it was 92. I think I was, I think I'd just left college at the time when I got it. It's a fantastic game. It's really easy to play. You can tweak the difficulty as well, so if you're completely rubbish like me, you can always lower the difficulty settings. It's just an absolute joy to play. The levels have got good variety in them, and as you can see from the ones that have showcased here, they do have a good variety. The bad guys can look a bit samey from time to time, but there is enough of them. Even if sometimes they only just wear different colour clothing, there is enough of them to keep you interested. That is Streets of Rage on the Sega Mega Drive. Thanks for watching this video, and please stay tuned to my channel for more videos coming in the near future. Hopefully I'll do some more Mega Drive games soon, but I have got some PlayStation 1 games to play as well. So yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you again in the near future.